it's known for other things. I grab my phone, I look, and there's a text message from my boss, and he's like, it just says, seal the deal. I don't give a fuck how you do it. Come home with this fucking kid. I'm just like, shit. So he's like, what were you saying? And I was like, the school's known. And I look down, I can see a little bit of my wife's underwear hanging out of my jeans. And I was like, it's, blowjobs are great, but the school's known for panty jobs. And he's like, what the hell's that? I'm like, it's where just kind of someone gets on top of you like a hot pair of panties and you just kind of jack off on them. And he's like, I've never even looked that up. He's like, I watch porno all the time. I've never even heard of that. I hear Jake slam into the house again, really loud. And it's like, I could give you one or find someone to give you one. And he's like, no, you give me one. Like, okay. So I pull off my jeans. Like, you want me to? I was like, what do you want to? I mean, you guide it. How do you want to do this? He's like, no, just do however you want to do it. He's like, you're the panty job guy, right? I said, no, sir, I'm a college football recruiter. I'm here for your son. He's like, well, I'm here to. He's like, no, you're here to sell me on your school. I said, well, sir, I told you everything about the program. He just kind of grabs me by the cheek. And he's like, just stop talking. He just lays me down on the ground and gets his dick out, and it's not fully hard, so he's just kind of squeezing. He's just kind of pushing it up against the underwear. He's just kind of hitting my balls. Eventually, it gets hard.
Welcome to the Fantasy Cast podcast, where three grown men pass the time by sharing their deepest, darkest fantasies. Here we go.
The interview was good, and I was like, fuck, I think I got this job. And then I talked to my friend who was working with me at the last place, and he was like, yeah, I just had an interview with them too. And I was like, fuck, so we're competing for the same job, basically.
Yeah. You're better than him.
I think so.
Yeah.
Why do you think you're that?
But where were you, Mike? Have you been here the entire time?
I just got here. I heard the end of it. Why do you think you have an edge over this guy that your friend?
He has like a real edge to him. Like
bad attitude.
Not even a bad. It's like it's a confidence that is like bordering on like psychotic almost.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, is a cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I truly love the guy. Maybe my favorite coworker I've ever had. But I think I'd be better at the job.
Yeah, you have to imagine the people at the other end of the interview have to think to themselves, do I actually want to work with this person?
Right.
If somebody comes across as like intolerable in any way.
He does have he has like the skill of smiling on command that I don't have. Like he's always like looks like he's happy even when he's like doing something really bad.
Yeah, psychotic.
Yeah,
I feel like
I might lose it. I don't know.
I'm sitting here listening to you talk, and I'm thinking like, a lot of people when they first meet me, they don't like me.
It's true.
That's true.
It's just like I can't do anything else, and I try to explain that to my family. Like just now, I got into a big argument because I was like, I got to record. I can't give the kid a bath right now. These guys want to do this right now. I need to do this. This is important to me. So this is all I can do.
Mm-hmm.
I can't work for someone at this point. I can't work with other people. And I keep trying to explain that to them, and she doesn't get it. My wife doesn't get it. My kid doesn't even understand.
How far do you take it?
Well, this is a new thing we're going through. It's just when you realize like all the decisions you've made,
Yeah.
you think we're right. And it's like only gets people to work against you, to plot against you.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, John, your friend. So you were talking about him. I was starting to think about myself. Your friend tries to do right, he tries to do good, but people don't like him. That's
Right.
in a lot of ways. That's how I feel. I'm like, what's up with that? I'm here. I'm trying to do a good job.
Yeah. So you stick to your guns. I'm trying to just imagine what happens. So your wife is like, "Hey, can you help?" Like you haven't given
She had
our
a
child
long
a
day.
bath.
She works at home, and sometimes she works 2 different jobs.
Yeah.
So she's stressed out.
So she's stressed out. She's working 2 different jobs while you're trying to get your podcasting thing off the ground. She's like, "Hey, Mike, you haven't given your daughter a bath in probably like a month and a half or 2 months. You don't ever make dinner. I have to drive her everywhere. You do a lot of shopping online. And if you could just once, give my daughter a bath," and you say, "No, I've got this podcast I have to go record." And and she gives you some kind of attitude, and then knowing you just start going off.
Well, yeah, I start shaking. I start yelling at her, and I get so frustrated. I like forget her name. I'm like calling her names from like ex girlfriends and stuff like that.
Sure,
like other family members I have grievances with. And the real shocking thing that really a lot of people won't understand is I'm doing it this like hours before we record.
Yeah,
because I need to get into my state if I'm going to record.
Yeah, you gotta hit the punching bag a while.
Punching bag, cold shower, meditate, do deep breathing, and I do a little pump.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the basement the entire time for like 2 hours before we record. So whatever. I'm here now. Let's just forget about that.
Yeah, I mean that's. I was just gonna say, like, this is actually an improvement from what it used to be like with you guys. So whatever your couples therapist is doing, I think there's some progress being made.
I'll admit it. I'll be the first to admit it.
Because you used to go into the garage and turn the car on, and call her from the car, saying, "Hey, I'm going to the grocery store. Is there anything that you need? I might not come back ever."
Yeah, I used to do stuff like that.
Anyways. Yeah, so I was talking about it in the chat today. I've been really into the idea of denying people food as a power move. Because, Mike, you were talking about how your family had a barbecue, and there was a guy at the barbecue that was, rubbing you the wrong way. And you were the grill master. So I think it would be cool if you, like, walked up and slapped the food out of his hand. Like he's holding his paper plate, and you just come and slap it out of his hand. It falls to the ground. You're like, "You're not eating. You don't eat here. You can't eat." And then you make a warning to everybody else. Like, if you all want to hang on to your food, if you all want to get fed at this thing, nobody give this guy any food, or else the same thing's going to happen to you.
Well, yeah, and if you're the person cooking the food, you can do stuff like that.
Right. Because you have that kind of power and control, like you decide who eats. And like, if somebody wants to like fill up on potato salad or something, you can't really stop them. I just think that's cool. I also was thinking of an idea of like you're at a dinner party, where you're cooking for everybody, and there's somebody you don't like there, and you give them like a significantly smaller amount, but it's not readily perceptible. Like you give them 2/3 of a portion that you give everybody else.
So I cook the food, and then I'm also I'm wearing an apron.
Yeah.
And like black latex gloves while cooking.
Yeah.
That are like so greasy that they're they're like mirrors.
Yeah.
I'm going around not only cooking but distributing the food to people.
Yeah, you've got cuts of steak that are like caked in like crushed pepper and like sea salt, that's so greasy it's just like slipping out of your hands, falling apart in your fingertips. and you're, like you grab a handful of meat, you put on somebody's plate, you grab, you just go around until you get to this person, and you give them significantly less.
I don't make
But
small talk. I make with them is really cold. There's nothing they can respond to really. I'm looking at. I'm doing that thing where I'm looking at them, but I'm looking through them while I'm talking to them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's like, it's the kind of dinner party where, like you'll go to like Thanksgiving or something. It'll be like mashed potatoes on the table and you just help yourself to it. Nothing like that. It's all just being doled out by you.
Yeah.
Here's the first course. Trip. It's like mostly salad and then like a little bit of salmon. So by the end of the night, they're just, they're starving.
Yeah.
They're just appetite. It's just like they've just had the equivalent of like a couple appetizers worth of food, and everybody's like stuffed.
There's a lot to chew on there.
Yeah. And what are they going to do? Are they going to say, "Hey, can I get more food?" Or like, "This guy's not giving me hardly any food."
If they did do that, I would just ignore them and move on to the next person, make contact with them.
Yeah.
Or eye contact with them, treat them like a normal person.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
One more thing is that I thought it is like blocking a waiter or waitress from getting to a table.
Yeah.
Like physically. Like that's a little bit more intense. Like somebody's at a booth and you're just like standing in front of the booth. And you're like, no, they're not ready yet.
Well, there's people in a booth and you're standing in front of their booth.
Yeah. And when the waiter comes by, you say, you wave them off. You say, they're not ready yet.
And what are you saying in the meantime when you're talking to these guys in this fantasy?
I'm just I'm standing there and like big dogging them in some way, the kind of conversation where you're like, "Hey, you still at that shitty job?" Yeah, you probably have to, have to stay there because you got fired from your last one, right? Like belittling them in front of their date or whatever.
Power thing.
Yeah, and
are you there
the
with
waiter
like
comes
your
by? Yeah,
are you there with your wife?
No, I'm there with a table full of other guys that are watching me and laughing. Yeah. And so there's a guy on a date, and I'm going over and like airing out all his dirty laundry in front of his date to try to like humiliate him, belittle him.
It should be should be someone who loves him.
Yeah,
he doesn't care. She just loves him.
It's somebody he met while overseas. Like he went to Europe and he met somebody else who was vacationing, and they're like have this long, complicated thing where he's trying to get her to the United States. He finally did to marry her, and so she doesn't know much about him. And she has like a short time to make a decision on whether she wants to stay or not. And up I walk, and I start just like humiliating this guy. And he doesn't want to act like too much of a spaz because he doesn't want to scare away his fiance. Mm-hmm. And then the waiter comes up and is like, "Are you ready to order?" I'm like, no, they're not ready yet. And I wave them off.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's denying them food, And now who knows when the waiter's going to come back.
Is this like a sexual thing or just like
just a power thing?
Power thing.
Power.
Okay. Which is sexual at its core.
Right. So just a couple ideas I had of denying people food as a way to exercise some kind of grievance you have against somebody. Hey, I'll be right back. You guys can talk without me. I'm going to be listening. So if you want to talk about me, I can hear what you're saying.
Okay, you got it.
Oof.
This dude's hair looks like, he really does look like Christopher Walken right now. The way he's sitting.
What was that whole thing he was doing?
I don't know. It's just sometimes I'll be saying something and he just gives me a look on the computer and I can just tell he just hates my guts. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to hear what I have to say. And he'll just start talking over me. He'll start imposing he does this thing. It's called fantasy colonization, where he can try to colonize your fantasies.
He takes your fantasy and forces you into saying something that you didn't want to say about it.
Yeah, that's not what I would fantasize about. That's not at my core. That's not what I want. That's not what I'm dreaming about. John, I haven't recorded with you in so long.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You're looking good, dude.
Am I?
Yeah, you look skinny.
I'm not.
Oh.
I've been eating crazy food.
This past weekend? or this?
Just like since I've lost my job,
Okay,
like, I was watching what I ate for the last year, really, just like not trying to lose weight, but just not eating anything insane. And then, the last 2 weeks I haven't really gained any weight yet, but it's about to happen.
Yeah, it's weird when you you're in really good shape for a while, and then you're like, I'm just gonna drive this into the ground, and no matter what you do, nothing's changing. Yeah, but then like one morning you wake up and
you
look totally different.
You're overweight. Yeah. I made
Paul Giamatti.
I made a pickle and peanut butter sandwich for the first time. You ever had one?
It sounds disgusting, but I know it's
disgusting,
good.
But it was really good.
Would you fry it?
You can. I didn't.
No, it's good.
It was.
I used to do that with kimchi and peanut butter.
Oh, that sounds.
Because it's spicy. It's like if you do a spicy peanut butter, like peanut butter sauce.
Yeah.
Or peanut sauce.
Oh, what's up, Nathan?
Hey,
guys.
How are you?
So, Mike, you were talking about how you beat up your wife.
What do you mean?
The last fantasy that you had.
Like today? During this recording?
Yeah. Didn't you say that?
No, I think you misunderstood me. I didn't beat up my wife. We got into an argument. I've never hit a woman before in my life. I think if you do that, you're not a man.
Yeah. I thought, I don't know. I sometimes I like to take the fantasy that you say, and I like to add something in and try to get you to say something that you didn't want to say.
Yeah, well, by me having to deny it, might as well have just once you input that, once you suggest that someone has done something, they might as well have done it because mentally people are seeing it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So, mission accomplished, I guess.
Peanut butter and pickle.
Yeah, you ever had it?
No.
Oh man, you gotta try it.
Yeah, I should. You just put that wet old soggy pickle right on there.
Yeah, what kind of pickle? Is it sweet or no?
I did a sweet pickle.
Oh, you sick fuck.
Yeah.
But it was good.
It's really good.
Oh.
You'll be shocked by the first bite. You're like, wow, this is incredible.
You think it would work?
Not incredible. It's
no,
good.
I know it's good. I know it is, but something about it sounds disgusting. It's like how I described to you kimchi and peanut butter. You're like, that sounds disgusting. But it's good. You fry it, right?
And
oh wait, you didn't fry it?
I didn't fry it, no.
What? You're crazy. You know what's really good? Peanut butter and jelly, just straight up.
Oh yeah.
Classic. Have you ever had one for like a year and you eat one? It's like the best thing you've ever eaten in your entire life.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Holy shit. Oh, so you guys uploaded the episode.
Yeah, I uploaded it earlier today.
I'm putting it on.
It's so good.
I just started it.
That was a fun one.
I can't wait to listen. I haven't had done one with John in a long time. Long ass time.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, Mike, tell me about this cookout that you had.
Okay. Well, talk about fantasies. Beforehand, a good 48 hours beforehand, I'm thinking about what family member is going to be coming at me, who I'm going to have to be fucking butting heads with. The paranoia, my heart's racing already. I can't sleep for 2 nights. My heart's palpitating, and I can't keep food down. I'm lashing out at everyone as usual. There's rarely a time in my life where I'm not lashing out emotionally at my friends and family because of the fear that fearful fantasies I have and sexual fantasies, which make me hyper irritable.
Yeah.
Both of them, fear and sexual. So there's some connection there. Anywho, the barbecue happens. Of course, apparently no one else knows how to operate a grill. Like they can't use charcoal. They can't even use a gas grill. I get to my mom's house. This gas grill is just covered in shit from the last time they barbecued. You know what I mean? I'm cleaning it off. I'm like, okay, this is what I have to fucking work with. I got to cook food for, all these people I don't even know. My mom just keeps bringing in stray dogs all the time. I don't know who the fuck these people are. There's like homeless people she met at a shelter or something. And the grill doesn't work properly. So here I am. I'm up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. I told everyone I was going to cook. I'm the only one that can cook on a grill that doesn't even work. It seems like it's been out there all year long. And it's just like there's flakes of what looks like cornflakes in there. I'm like, okay, let's just get this going. Only half the grill works. I'm picking at the inside of the grill like while it's on and just like moving chunks of metal around that are like covering up the fire. And I'm like, nothing's getting hot. Nothing's getting hot enough. It feels like it's just like the sun might as well be creating as much heat. And I'm cooking these things. And this guy's there. And I don't know who the fuck this guy is. He's wearing sandals. He's got his legs folded up in a folding chair. Like, you know what I mean? Like sitting on his legs and his sandals are in front of the chair. And I don't know who he is. He looks like Paul Rudd, you know what I mean? With like more of a beard, and he's just cracking everyone up. And I see this. I see my mom laughing, and my blood pressure is so high.
Yeah.
That it's like slow motion, and it's like I could just feel my head pulsating because I'm just so angry to see this. But I play the good part. I'm like sweating and like there's veins bulging on my forehead and I'm feeding everyone. Sure. But it's once I pass by with the food, the vibe is off. People are scared and on edge. And when I was done cooking, I'm wearing the apron. I wipe my forehead off. I take off my black gloves and I put them next to the grill. I go into the garage and I am just like, it's like a free form like noise performance is happening in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like, whatever I see, I'm inspired by. I'm just banging it against the wall and screaming. When I came out, everyone was gone. And I just see my mom like in the window. And she just closes the blind.
Yeah.
And my wife took my kid home. I had to get an Uber home. Uber broke down midway and I had to like walk home. Pretty much. Took me halfway there.
God. Knowing your mom, even if you nailed everything and were just a perfect chef, perfect grill master, it wouldn't have been good enough. She still would have closed the blinds on you.
You think? I think I would have learned by now.
Guys, I'll be right back.
All right. Can you hear us? You can't hear a goddamn thing.
No. He looks fantastic. I don't buy all that bullshit about him eating.
I don't know
eating
why
like shit.
I don't
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to lie like that. He can tell us that he's
being healthy.
He's on keto or whatever. We're not going to judge him just because I eat like a fucking asshole.
You think he's on? You think he's keto?
I think. Oh yeah.
What makes
that jawline?
Okay, because he doesn't have any
zero body weight
fat
in the face. Yeah.
Yeah, I know his face.
The guy
is
looks
so
chiseled.
skinny.
He looks like Ethan Hawke. Looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah, he looks like one of those people that should be like 300 pounds more, like they're built for it. But when you get him skinny, they get like a weird skinny face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looks like that. Like Willem Dafoe is like that.
Yeah, except just for listeners at home that might not know John is like 6'7", 280. The guy's fucking massive. So when I tell you that he's lost a lot of weight, and he just looks absolutely sharpened out of iron. The guy is just an Adonis, and he's trying to sit here and tell us that he's been eating like shit, been eating peanut butter and pickles and baconators and stuff.
I don't know what it is. I can eat whatever I want and I never gain any weight. It's crazy. I'm a slob just like you. Hey, Johnny.
Hey, John.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. We're just talking about how we're like, you look incredible and we're not buying this I eat like shit line.
Thanks.
You look great.
I haven't literally walked maybe 300 steps in the last 16 days. Just lay on the couch.
That sounds good. Catching up on sleep. You're catching up.
Yeah.
That's
been busting
true.
your ass a long time.
That is true.
Nathan, you look good too.
Oh, thank you. It's nice of you to say. Before you said I had a fucked up haircut and I look like Christopher Walken.
It's just how you're sitting right now. And
Oh, yeah.
it looks like you have a hairline that's like receding hairline. And spring just came off my microphone thing.
And Nathan,
like
I thought you were
high.
shaving. Weren't you
Yeah, it's like
shaving your head for a
high.
while?
But like a wall.
Yeah, I
hair.
was.
You growing it out again?
No, I
Looks
was shaving
pretty
it.
good.
Thank you. I was shaving it because of COVID. And I kind of, that's when I stopped shaving it. I haven't shaved in a while.
Mm.
Well, what do you guys think? You want to launch into these fantasies? I feel like we've been bullshitting for a while now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. I'll go first.
Okay, hit us, Mike, man.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes you guys get pissed off when I go first, or if I go late. I never know. I actually never know when the right time to go is. If I go in the middle, then it's like, oh, you want to go now? It's just like, so I'll just go first this time, and I'll just try to change it up every single time. I'll keep track of it. Don't worry, I have an Excel sheet. Okay. This is called a fantasy. This is just a fantasy. It has no name. Okay? I was just thinking about this, how cool this would be. I moved to Los Angeles, Hollywood,
The Los Angeles sun was
because my
shining,
parents
the way it's
died
always
in an
supposed to.
airplane accident, and they loved me a lot. And they always thought I would be a good performer and singer. So they passed away. And I get money from their funeral, and I moved to Los Angeles. And I'm
The Los
living
Angeles sun
in
was
like
shining, the way it's always
Airbnbs for a
supposed
bit,
to.
and they tell me I
The
have
way
to
it's
move
always
out.
supposed to. The way it's always supposed
A
to.
unit opens up in a building that a couple from the 90s owns. So the guy has a full head of hair, but it's gray, kind of poofy but slick back,
Where you headed?
and glasses, like clunky,
Los
like
Angeles.
architecture glasses.
Los Angeles.
He's got like a bunch of tattoos too,
Los Angeles.
and his wife
Los
looks
Angeles.
like Janine Garofalo, sort of, and has tattoos too.
Huh?
Can you imagine a couple like
Stop
this?
back like an idiot. Go to sleep.
Sure.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Put the phone
Okay.
book down. Stop back like an idiot. Go to
And I
sleep.
tell them
Huh?
they're interviewing me for the
Phone book down.
unit.
Stop back like an idiot. Go
And I
to
tell them that I want to be an actor, and I do some monologues in front of them. One from like Dead Poets Society, and one from the last Batman movie. That what's his ass does? Who's that little guy with the big head? He looks like they shrunk
Bale.
down. No, they shrunk.
Pattinson?
No, it looks like they shrunk down Edward Norton.
Batman.
500 Days of Summer.
Oh,
Remember this little guy?
that little squirt.
Remember him? Tiny,
Uh,
tiny little man.
He was in Don John.
Dude, he fell off. I don't remember this guy's name.
He played Batman?
Holy fuck. He played
he played Robin.
Oh,
in the
okay,
last
gotcha.
Batman movie.
He's got 3 names.
Dude.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's monologue from the
Ooh.
last Batman movie. And I do monologue from Steel Magnolias. And they're looking at me and I can't get a read. I'm like, wow, maybe my parents were wrong. Maybe I'm not so great.
Yeah, he's guilty of acting like an asshole.
Well, I was.
But they say I got the
Really?
place, so I take my
Act,
passport.
act.
They take my passport and
Acting.
like all my bank information and stuff, which I think is normal because I'm kind of like a fish out of water. I don't know what that means, but I'm kind of like a fish out of water. I move in to their basement, and there's another person that lives on the property, and she looks like she might be fine, but she has glasses on, and she seems a little uptight, and she wears like clothes that aren't flattering or stylish. And I hear her sometimes, she won't like talk to me or look at me or anything, but I sometimes at night through the vent in my room, I hear her singing to themselves and like crying through the ventilation system at night. So the money from my parents dying starts to run out. So this 90s couple, which is the name of this fantasy, offer me a job working for their entertainment company. And what they do is they hold auditions for things. So I get the sense that they're like casting directors, and they're like, yeah, we're kind of like that, but kind of not, kind of something else too, something in the middle. And I realized that they don't really do castings for movies. They get people in there to read like advertisements for like really crappy products, like unsafe gummies and like Kratom and like other like AG1 stuff and like mud water. All this stuff that is like basically killing people, making them impotent. And they use those auditions and they sell those to the company as actual advertisements. So they're just like stealing these people's talent. And they never call them back. We had to like move from office to office because like the people that we record get pissed off and they didn't read the fine print. They really can't do anything. I help edit the videos and shoot the footage. And I work in like wherever they tell me to work. Some days it's out of a car, some days it's in a Starbucks, sometimes it's in an actual office, and there's like Korean gangbangers in it or something like that. Okay, I get an audition for a big role in a movie, but my thing is, I've always known this since I was young, is like I can't act good unless I have just dropped glop. So that's when I act best. It's like after I drop glop. Like if you catch me right after I drop one big honking glop into my old girlfriend, I'm able to like walk around her like in the bed as she's laying down and just like summon any accent. I got it. Any emotion. Got it. Any comedy, tragedy, anything. I could do that in the bedroom just like that. You know what I mean? But it lasts that's when it's the strongest, but it lasts a couple days. So I need to drop glop before I take this audition. And they're like, this is Hollywood. Come in anytime you want for this audition. It's cool. Because we know that if you do it good, we're going to have a good actor. So like, take your time. So for this big audition, I know I got to drop glop. Or I'm not going to get the role. If I go in without dropping glop, I'm not going to get the role. So I'm in LA. I don't know a lot of people.
And don't be acting like no pussy when we get the fuck out.
I meet a woman in the park and she's wearing a bikini and she's flying a kite with her boyfriend. And the kite gets stuck in a tree and her boyfriend is so LA. He's just like, his hair is slick back, his sunglasses on and stuff. And he looks like, he's wearing a tight little shirt and tucked into his jeans and like loafers with no socks on or something. And he's talking to his cell phone and he's not even paying attention that this woman's kite is stuck in the tree. So I'm like, this might be good. There might be an opportunity. It's a numbers game. So I climb up in the tree, I get her kite out, and we just run off. Okay. I scraped a little bit of my side on the tree. So she's like, let me tend to that for you. So I take her home and we start to do it. We're both naked, straddling, and and we're actually like grinding a little bit. And the electricity is really there, and the electricity between us is really there. But then out of nowhere, it's like when it's a super hot day, the AC turns off, the electricity turns off, water starts pouring in from the ceiling. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I gotta drop glop. I call the landlords and they say they'll come fix it, but it's too late. This woman's disgusted with me, and her boyfriend has tracked us down. He's like pounding on the window. He's gonna kick my ass. So they leave. Okay, so then I go jogging. I go to one of these jogging mixers. It's a great place to meet people. So it's like 200 people jogging in Los Angeles. And the idea is that you like, I don't know, there's like an index card, I imagine, and you like write down your name and like 3 interests and like answer to a funny question, and then you pin it to your shirt and other people can see it, and you like decide if you want to like have sex with that person and then like never see them again. So I go to one of these things, I find someone, I take them back to my place. No, I tell them about the entertainment company I work for, and it's for Los Angeles. And these 2 women, it's 2 women. They come back with me to the house, and we're all like eating each other out in different ways and stuff. So that, yeah. And then the 2 landlords come down, and they're dressed in like space outfits, and they're spraying for bed bugs. And I'm like, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to drop some glop here. Can't you see what's going on? You know what I mean? I'm standing there naked, yelling at these guys. My face is totally red. I'm super angry. I have a huge heart on. I'm like trying to keep my heart on up. And they come back at me, and I see their dark side. They start yelling at me. They're like, "You brought bed bugs here. This is your fault. You butthead." You know what I mean? And they start yelling at me. And needless to say, it's not very horny anymore. And the girls leave. Okay, I go to like a demented. Oh God, I go to this like demented club, and it's like, have you guys ever been to like a place like this? Maybe John, you have, and it's like everyone's wearing black and. They're stylish. Everyone's beautiful, but it's an edgy place, and people are like in cages. It's not even loud music. It's kind of like dark music, maybe more gothy, and people are like whipping each other or like eating like raw meat in one corner, and in another corner it's like two women making out, and then another corner it's like two guys making out. And it's like black leather. It's just everything's black and white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So I get a couple of these guys. I'm desperate at this point. I'm like, okay, what's up, guys? Like, I need to drop glop big time. You got to help me out. I'm new to LA. So they look at each other and like, all right, we'll help you out. That's cool. You got this audition. Let's do it. Let's go back to your place. The couple comes in with all these freaks in there. They're trying to help me out. They're doing me a favor. I know they're going out of their way. My landlords, the 90s couple, they're wearing like leather outfits, and they just start tasering everyone.
You're all a bunch of
like tasing them with like a cattle prod and stuff. At this point, I'm like, okay, this isn't right. What is going on? I really need to drop glop here. And I confront them. I say, what are you doing?
Fuck you, buddy.
You know what I mean? Why don't you just leave me alone?
Cheat on your wife.
Stop doing this. I give up. And I start crying. Okay?
Call your mother.
Everyone leaves, and I'm crying so loud. And I'm crying so loud that the noise is so loud that it goes up to the ventilation shaft to the
fuck you, buddy.
Girl who works on the property
buddy.
as well. And she comes down and she starts touching my face, and I'm like, I'm never going to be a good actor. I'm not good. I'm not going to get this role. This was a big mistake. My parents were lying to me. I'm not good at anything. And she puts a hand on my face, and she says, no, you are good. I've seen the monologue that you did for the 90s couple, and you are really talented. And she touches the side of my face, and I'm just I'm quivering. You know what I mean? I'm so no one has touched me in that way in such a long time. And we end up having sex together. Okay. So imagine this woman laying on her back. Her legs are open. Okay. Her arms are up like this. And her hands are wrapped around the back of my head. Okay. And I'm on top. And my erect member is inside of her vagina. You know what I mean? I'm moving in and out, in and out, in and out. And we're like occasionally kissing, hugging and kissing. She's moving her hands all up and down my body. I'm sometimes kissing her neck, her face, feeling her body and stuff like that. She eventually wraps her legs around my back. I drop glop. I nail the role. I get so much money. And as I'm moving out, the 90s couple are like really upset. And I'm like, sorry guys, I gotta go. This place isn't working out for me. I got a lot of money right now. As I'm walking out, I turn around and I say, hey, I got one more question for you guys. Why'd you guys try to stop me from dropping glop so many times? I gotta know. They look at each other and they say, because we knew that if you were so talented, that if you got more famous than us, more successful than we ever did, that would make us feel really bad. So we tried everything we could to stop you, to slow you down. Because if we knew that if you got famous or more popular or more successful than we ever did, that would make us feel so bad. And I say, you know what? I had a funny feeling that might be it. I toss him the keys. He catches it right in the middle of the air and makes like it looks like he's making like a fist in solidarity with me. So I'm famous now, and I'm so rich that I hired goons to just like beat the shit out of them. Or beat the shit out of the man and like hold the woman to make her watch. Like, say they're coming out of a fast food restaurant, they'll do it. And I make it so it's like never the same time of year. It'll be like 2 years in between, maybe 6 months in between, maybe a week in between. It's completely random. And I just like watch this guy getting beat up and having his wife see it over and over and over again for the rest of my life. And like when one of them dies, I like pay for the funeral.
As I drank, I thought to myself, it's such a pity that my father isn't alive. To be able to see for himself all his dreams come true. The dreams he worked so hard for. His son, a famous man, married to a beautiful and wealthy woman.
Nice.
Success fantasy.
Yeah.
So many questions.
What's up, man? Shoot, don't be afraid. I'll answer anything. Ask me anything.
So you're in this like Blade style like vampire club scene, right?
Yeah.
What do you imagine is in it for these guys that are tasering you? Like, what are they getting out of it?
Okay, I think you misunderstood. So the people tasering were the 90s couple from upstairs. It's another way to stop them, these generous sex people from helping me drop glop.
That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I misunderstood.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. I just have notes on this one. I didn't write it all out. I just have it's kind of a little confusing.
It's beautiful. I really appreciate that you went to the sex community. Like, of course, you tried to do it on your own, but you went to the sex community, and they were kind enough to extend their services to you. But these meddling 90s people had to get in the way. The sex community people are very kind and generous, and they care about each other. So I'm glad that you brought that into your fantasy.
And the thing you should also know is the woman who touched my face, who I dropped glop in, she also was really talented, and they did the same thing to her. But no one ever said to her, no one extra ever said to her, "You're beautiful, you're talented." She was talented. She was a beautiful singer. And this 90s couple just held them down.
Ugh. What a couple of scumbags.
That just pisses me off. That's when people do that sort of thing.
So you clearly described a penis to vaginal situation with the one that you ended up glopping inside of. Mm-hmm. The last sexual attempts, was that penis to vaginal as well? The unsuccessful ones?
Oh, okay. They never fully formed.
Oh, got it.
I didn't even.
You never inserted.
We never got inserted in any way. It could have, in all instances, it could have been anyone, any guy, anything, anywhere.
The reason I asked is because I was thinking that maybe you're doing it wrong, and that's why you didn't come. But that wasn't the case. Anyways, John, what did you think of Mike's fantasy?
It was good. I like. I've never heard you say a celebrity's name correctly. Ever. Jernine.
What did I say?
You said Jernine Garofalo.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Yeah, Jernine Garofalo.
It was good. It was sexy. It made me.
Man.
I don't know why you thought I would be at a club like that.
Well, you're in a band, and
yeah, I've never seen anyone eat raw meat in the corner.
You have like a dark aesthetic, so maybe I thought there's a club in it. There's a club like this in this movie, Single White Female, which I watched recently.
Oh yeah,
and they go to there's clubs like this in movies sometimes to show that someone is demented. They like dark stuff.
Yeah,
it's actually cool. She walks in and she goes to a doorway, and it looks like there's like a sex show going on, and there's this woman grinding on a man. You know what I mean? With her bottom. and she catches eyes with this character and follows her out of the room and meets her in front of a man inside of like just a white guy inside of a cage. And they're both like asking her if she wants to get freaky with them.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do places like this exist? I mean, it's incredible.
What I'm reminded of is in Blade 2 when like the cool vampires that take Blade in to like work with them to kill these other vampires. They take him to like a vampire club, you know, and there's like body mods going on, and like you know, like people like cutting each other's like open and drinking each other's blood and stuff.
That's really nice.
But yeah, that really you painted a really vivid picture of that place that you went to. I appreciated that.
Who's next?
I'll go. Is that okay with you, John?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So start this one off. The code of the push-in is to be always alert and always dedicated to the cause while remaining unseen and unheard. That was the original credo of the push-in, but since then the whole movement has taken in a completely different form, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about that in this fantasy. So, I'm a young guy. I'm in my early 30s. I've just graduated from Master's in Education program from a fine establishment on the East Coast, and I'm really feeling my oats here. I'm on top of my game. I've got an absolutely 10 out of 10 smoke show wife, drop dead gorgeous dime of a woman, wears the pants in the relationship, doesn't take any bullshit from me at all, like at all, and I love it. I love every second of it. So I apply for a job at like doing like education policy for the school district in Iowa, and I get it, and I'm like, wow, straight out of college, I get this like high up administrative job. I get to basically, you know, sit on my ass and say what they teach in like kindergartens and shit. And I get there and I get a house like outside of this, you know, relatively populated town, still pretty rural. And I end up pregnating my wife. We have sex and we time it out in a way where when she's ovulating, and we have sex a couple times a day while she's ovulating. It takes us a couple months and she gets pregnant. And so here I am with this new job. My wife is pregnant, and we have a welcoming committee come over and welcome us to the neighborhood. And one of the people in the welcome committee is a super kind, really pleasant, straightforward, wholesome farmer that lives next door to us. He's a corn farmer, and he's like an old hippie that decided to like buy a plot of land, and he cooks. I mean, he grows sweet corn to sell at farmers markets and to sell at like farm to table restaurants. He not only does he grow corn in the regular season, but he has like a greenhouse, and he does like a hydroponic thing. So year round he's growing corn, just incredible corn. And he's really sweet and attentive to us. And like we had a flooding in our basement. He stayed up all night with us, like helping us to get the water out, and you know, just really, really good, decent person, good neighbor. And on top of everything else, he's always giving us corn. He'll just like every week he'll just show up with a bushel of corn. It is fucking incredible. I mean, this guy, the length this guy has gone in his lifetime to perfect corn growing is insane. Like he's figured out all the exact nutrient composition and pH level of the soil to get the best corn. And he knows exactly when to harvest it. He grows blue corn, corn from all across the Americas, and it's just absolutely incredible. He'll do prepared corn dishes. He'll do like elotes. He does a great elotes. He'll make cornbread, polenta, corn on the cob, obviously, corn chowder, succotash, just like these corn dishes that'll bring over. And it's like, imagine that, getting like just this really amazing corn on a regular basis. It's almost like a farm share or something like that. Just you get a bushel of corn at your doorstep. It's really incredible. And so things are going well. My job is it's okay. It's not like I don't want to retire on this job necessarily, because basically what it consists of is me spending some time in the office, coming up with these different lessons plans and shit like that, and then going to these city council meetings and school board meetings and just getting yelled at by right-wing psychos who are accusing the schools of grooming their kids and stuff like that, like this politically motivated stuff. So I'm just like up there behind a microphone, just getting yelled at by these people for like, several hours a day while these hearings are going on. And it's like a huge pain in the ass, but I roll with it because it's a pretty cushy job. So anyways, I go over to our neighbor's house, and because he wants to show me his like corn growing setup, and I see he's got a flag in his backyard that I never noticed before. And it's the international push-in flag. And what it is it's a flag of, it's a bunch of ants that are carrying different objects into an ant hole. And like one of them's like a flashlight, one of them's like a cucumber. So there's basically these ants carrying like these suggestive items into a ant hole. And I say, "Oh, you a pushin'?" He's like, Yeah, I'm a pushin'." I'm like, "Oh yeah, my dad was a pushin' at the Norfolk, Virginia chapter." He's like, "Oh, okay. So are you a pushin'?" I'm like, "No, I never really got into it. It's not really my thing, but my dad was." And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, it's good to know that you." I'm like, "Yeah, I appreciate what you guys do. I appreciate the movement. I like how you guys have been a lot more vocal, trying to bring normalizing people who like to put stuff in their asses as a more common thing. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing, and like I get it." And the farmer's like, "Cool, man, that's cool." So he sends me home with a bunch of corn, and a couple days later he comes over, knocks on my door, and he's like, "Listen, the international push-ins, they're choosing Iowa as their like summertime conference center, and they have a big PR campaign. It's called Dildo Summer, and we're this." I'm going to be really involved in like the planning. I'm on the planning committee, and I was wondering if you would mind putting up a yard sign in your yard. And he gives me the yard sign. I'm like, "What? Like a dildo yard sign?" He's like, "No. It just says DS 2024." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's pretty. Whatever. Nobody's really going to know what that is. Just 2 letters in 2024." So I put it out in my front lawn, and he's got one in his front lawn, and I see him like scattered around town every so often. And a couple weeks later go by, he comes over and he's like, "Hey, I need your help. I need you to table at this farmer's market a couple towns over with some pamphlets on Dildo Summer stuff, just to let people know about the movement." And I'm like I got a pretty high profile job. I'm under a lot of scrutiny. I can't really be talking about dildos to strangers at a farmer's market. He's like, "Listen, just wear a COVID mask. It's fine. Wear some sunglasses. You don't have to really talk to anybody. We just need somebody to say that we're at the event. Hell, you can just put the pamphlets on and then, take a nap if you want." I'm like, "Okay." So I do it. It's weird. I get a lot of like weird questions. Some people come up to me, they think I'm a push-in, so they start talking to me about push-in stuff. But he's been such a big help to us, and the corn is fucking amazing. And my wife is at the point in her pregnancy where all she can tolerate, she like can't eat anything else. All she can tolerate is this guy's corn. Everything else makes her nauseous, want to throw up. She won't even eat like store corn, just this guy's corn, because it's so good, so sweet, crispy but tender. It's just amazing, crunchy. So the farmer comes over and he's like, "This is it, Iowa State Fair. They're having one of the biggest breweries in town is having a show. They're having a concert, like an outdoor concert, after the Iowa State Fair. It's like the official after party of the Iowa State Fair, and all the remaining members of the Heartbreakers, the surviving members of the Heartbreakers, are going to be playing Tom Petty songs. And one of the guys in the Heartbreakers is a push-in, and he's going to let us play the push-in anthem beforehand." And I'm the one who's supposed to sing, the farmer's saying. He's like, I'm not a singer, but it fell on me. And I need you up there as my hype man, because I know that you're used to being in front of people and talking in front of people. And it would really mean a lot to me if you would come up on stage and be my hype man while we sing this song about Dildo Summer. And I'm like, "Okay, listen, I appreciate everything you do for us. Your corn is delicious, but I just can't do that. My whole I'll get fired immediately, and my whole purpose for being out here will be gone. Like, I'm never going to find a job that's good. And he's like, oh, okay, I see how it is. So you'll take my corn, you'll take all my kindness, but when I ask you to do something for me, you turn your back on me. Okay, I see how it is. Fine then. So he walks away, and he just kind of like stops coming over. We stop getting corn. We stop getting different corn treats and corn meals, and my wife is like, "What the fuck did you do? I can't eat anything except this guy's corn." And I'm like, "He wants me to go up on stage and sing about dildos." And she's like, "You gotta go up on stage and fucking sing about dildos then. I don't give a fuck. Like, our kid and my pregnancy is way more important than whatever, your job is." I'm like, I can't, like, this is fucking crazy. I can't do this. So I'm torn up inside. I'm trying to like wrap my mind around even what it means to be a hype man for like a dildo song. And, the Iowa State Fair comes on, and it's the night of the show, and Tom Petty's The Heartbreakers are about to come on. It's like 10 o'clock at night. They're the headliners. Everybody's pretty drunk. The place is packed. And the farmer guy is sitting up on stage, and he's just like sweating bullets. His palms are sweaty. And he's just looking around, like wondering, like, how am I going to get through this? So the music starts to play, and out I ride onto the stage. I'm on a BMX bike. I've got no shirt on. I've got a bike helmet on with dildos going across the top, like mohawk, and they're attached to springs. So they're like flailing around. I've got 2 sparklers in my hand, and I'm riding around with no hands on this BMX bike while like the buildup of the song is coming. And this farmer guy is so fucking happy because he knows that I'm about to join him up on stage.
Beneath the jackets hidden tight, plastic toys in shadows night, laughing faces, secret game, joy and shame, they feel the same. Dildo summer, it's a dildo summer, undercoat surprise my brother. Dildo summer, it's a dildo summer, hidden smiles, but undercover. Eyes wide open, shock and awe, feeling thrilled, breaking all laws. In the dark where secrets lie, plastic laughs till day goes by. Dildo summer, it's a dildo summer, undercoat surprise my brother. Dildo summer, it's a dildo summer, hidden smiles, but undercover. Shadows brave, secret toys, the shame we crave, playful drinks in summer heat, undercovers where we meet. Looking close, the fun explodes, plastic joy down secret roads, under jackets yearning bold, hidden toys, our stories told. Dildo summer, it's a dildo summer, undercoat surprise my brother. Dildo summer, it's a dildo summer, hidden smiles, but undercover.
So anyways, so it's just really, the song fucking hits, you know what I mean? And but after it's done, like, I'm sitting there panting, and like, me and the farmer are hugging. He's so happy they came on stage, and I look out in the crowd, and I get a couple people that are like clapping. Like, undeniably the song fucking is an incredible song, but they don't know what to make of it. Like, this is a really conservative area. They don't know what to make of the message, Dildo Summer. So it's kind of like crickets, So I walk out on stage expecting that that Monday I'm going to get a call, telling me I'm fired. But I don't. And I go to this hearing, school board hearing, and it's a bunch of the same kind of like weirdos yelling at me that I'm grooming, and I'm expecting them to just lay into me because here I am, talking about dildo summers. I open the hearing and just silence from the crowd. I'm like, anybody have anything to say? And somebody stands up in the back and they're like, I'm a push-in. And another person stands up and they're like, I'm a pushin'. Somebody else stands up and they're like, I'm a pushin'. I'm a pushin'. I'm a pushin'. I'm a pushin'. And like half the room stands up and they're looking at me, and I'm touched by this, gesture. And I look back at them and I'm like, I'm not a pushin'. And that's the end of the fantasy.
Wow. That ending.
The whole time I wasn't a pushin'. I was just trying to, preserve this relationship with this guy.
Oh, that's not how I read the ending.
How'd you read the ending?
He says that, but he's definitely going to be. You know what I mean?
Ooh. Yeah, that's sexy. That's a sexy twist on this fantasy.
He was the whole time.
Oh, you think he was a push the whole? You think I was a push the whole time in the sexual fantasy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a question. What were some of the things the right wingers were complaining about that you were sending through to these? What was it, like kindergarten, grade school?
Yeah. They think that the teachers and shit are like talking about putting tampons in the boys' bathrooms and doing things to like confuse kids, groom them. I'm not exactly sure the details of it, but basically the biggest gripe that they had was that there weren't enough like strong male role models in the school, that the female to male ratio in most schools is like 3 females to 1. And that it was somehow perverting the male students' identity of what, like how you're supposed to act. It was like feminizing them, So that was the main gripe. And like, you can't really argue against that. I mean, you can argue against it, but it's like these people are crazy. So they're not, nobody's ever going to listen to you. There's no reasoning with them.
Yeah, they're insane.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes too much sense, sadly, in this day and age.
Yeah.
A lot of you really went on and on about corn. You must have said the word corn in this like 800 times.
Yeah.
Well, how good?
Elotes, yeah. But just think about that. Like, there you are. You get a piece of corn. It's at the absolute peak. It couldn't be done, and it couldn't be grown any better. It couldn't be harvested. It's just the most perfect piece of corn, and you bite into it
at the perfect time.
There's nothing else like it.
Yeah, that's true though. Okay, you said the band was the Heartbreakers. Tom Petty's the Heartbreakers.
Yeah, just the remaining the surviving members of the Heartbreakers.
Interesting how they change with the times.
Yeah,
whole different sound.
Crazy. It's hard. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm a little thrown off that you didn't even consider that. Maybe you were into the push-in stuff, and it's sometimes people get subconsciously find themselves gravitating towards things that they might secretly want or don't know that they want. Consciously know that they want.
So you thought I protested too much?
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, I think what's more unnerving is that here these people were showing this bravery and this solidarity with me, trying to find common ground with me, and I just shut them down.
Oh yeah, like you never cop to it.
I'm like, I'm not pushing. No, I mean
you're gonna have to explain that to your pregnant wife.
That I'm a push.
But it sounds like she doesn't give a you said she doesn't care about a thing you say.
You know what's interesting? That what I see that you're doing here, Mike?
What's that?
Is you're doing the thing that John accused me of doing, of twisting a fantasy into something it wasn't. You're colonizing. You're making it about me wanting to be a push-in.
You said in the beginning that you are married to someone. She wears the pants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not the leader. You don't have a say in anything.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're fixated on corn. You're going on and on about corn, how good it is. Oh, it tastes so good. You can have it so many different ways. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You somehow frame it that you're in a position where you had to go on stage and where, you know, if you're going to be just a hype man, you just grab a microphone, you go up there and you just hype up the crowd. You don't take your shirt off, make a helmet with a bunch of dildos and springs on it. You know what I mean? And ride around on a BMX. That's all I'm saying. I'm just seeing a little. That's all.
I mean,
I don't know.
no, I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate that that's your interpretation of how things are. You know, I think it says a lot about you and how you see it. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I just think you're colonizing my fantasy. Anyways, do you want to go, John?
Yeah.
Sorry, my mom just texted me.
Everything good?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, yeah. Sorry. And I didn't know how to get out of that conversation. I didn't want to have it anymore. I thought it was a little childish, but I think it's time for John to go. Let's just let cooler heads prevail.
All right. I'm a college football recruiter, and I get a phone call from my boss, and he's like, this is Big Jake. We need to land this kid, or else like you're fucked. Like, you're done in this school. I can't, help you out anymore. He's a farm kid. He's from Nebraska, like 430 pounds. He's a lineman. All I know about him is that he's highly rated. Like, he's one of the most decorated, like, linemen, like, in high school football. I don't really ask any questions. I know what I need to do. And so I call the family. I schedule a meeting with them. They tell me to come out. We'll have dinner and just have a whole day of it. So I fly out there, and I show up at the house, knock on the door. The whole family comes out. They greet me. The son is he's just like in a corner, sort of just rocking back and forth. Really, really huge kid. And Dad shakes my hand, tells me, he's like, this is gonna be fun. I'm excited about your program. I'm like, yeah, I'm excited to have have Big Jake come out and see the facilities. We've got a great program. I start rattling off like all the accolades of the school and how his education's going to be. So we go outside, we walk around. They've got a big farm, and I'm just looking at all the stuff that they've grown. And father's a farmer. The mother doesn't say much. She's just kind of like she's not mute, but she's just like, you can tell it's just like an old school dynamic with the family where she just works, just does stuff at home, just tends to the house. So we're walking around, me, the father, and the son, and I'm looking at the kid, and I try to talk to him, and I'm telling him about, like, hey, there's a lot of girls at this school. It's a lot of parties. You're gonna meet a lot of people. And he's just like, and I'm just looking in his eyes, and I'm like, this kid might be slow, like a little bit off. I keep telling him about all the classes he can take, like all the electives, all the fun things. There's like an indoor pool there that he has access to. And I look over at him, and he's got like a little bit of drool on his mouth, like he's just drooling. So I text my boss, and I'm like, I was like, I'm pretty sure this kid is like full blown retarded. He's like, it doesn't matter. We need him. He's an incredible player. So I like wipe the drool off this kid's face. I have to grab a handkerchief, and I just kind of wipe it off. Keep talking to the dad. And the dad is like, well, we like the school. We like you. You've passed step 1. So we'll see how step 2 goes. I'm like, well, what is step 2? And he says, well, it's time for dinner. About to have a big Nebraska dinner. We walk into the kitchen. The mother is just like sweating really bad in the kitchen. She's cooking all this shit. I walk up to her. I say, can I help you set the table? said, sure. So I grabbed some plates, start setting it. I'm saying, what are we cooking? What are you making? She's like, well, Jake loves Chipotle, so we're having 3 Chipotle burritos. We're gonna do some steaks. Jake has to have his gravy protein shake. We're doing mashed potatoes. We're doing a bloomin' onion, and French fries, and we do pesto tortellini every night, just to carb load Jake. And she's like, and I made an apple pie for you. So I grab a small plate, and the father says, he's like, this is test 2. You need to match my son. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, plate for plate. You got to go plate for plate with Jake. I'm like, sir, I don't, I'm 175 pounds, 5'6". I can't eat as much as Jake. And he's like, well, you will eat as much as Jake. I just grab this big bowl. They start loading everything in there. I'm matching Jake, as much as I can. And like 15 minutes in, and he's like a power eater. Like it's like he's doing like a food contest. I look at him at one point, and his eyes are just completely swollen and bloodshot. Like he's bordering on a heart attack. He's 18 years old. I keep eating. I eventually, I'm like holding my stomach, and the father's like, "What? You done? You done eating?" And he's like, "I thought you could hang with Big Jake." I'm like, "Sir, I don't know if I can continue." So I'm farting a little bit, and Jake's been farting like all day long. Big, huge farts. The family laughs every time he farts. The family kind of like rewards him almost. Like they just think it's so cute. And I poop my pants a little bit, and so I just like whatever. So I continue to eat with him. Eventually, Jake's like, "Okay, I'm done." And he just like, it kind of like throws his plate into the middle of the table, and he just gets up and leaves, goes outside. And the dad's just kind of laughing, and I let out this huge fart, and I just completely shit my pants. And the father's like, "Oh," he's like, "You know what?" He's like, "I think you need a shower, don't you?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna." Yeah, that would be a shower would be nice right now. We just kind of laugh at it. We're just giggling. So I have my suitcase, and I'm just standing there in Jake's room. Get the suitcase open. I'm looking for clothing. I really only brought all I brought was my laptop and the clothes I was wearing. And I have a pair of my wife's underwear that I jack off into. I'm just like, well, fuck, I guess I'll wear these. So I take a shower, I throw these underwear on. I come back to the living room, and the wife and son they're just not in the room. It's just the father. He's on a laptop. There's no lights on whatsoever. And I start talking about the program again. I'm like, I keep emphasizing that the education is going to be really good and Jake's going to do really well. And he just looks at me point blank, and he's like, look, like, I know that you're just here for my son's skills on the football field. He's my son's a fucking idiot. Like he's mentally, like he's challenged. Like he's going to make it maybe 1 year through school. And that's if you guys like get him tutors and like really help him out. And he's just kind of looking at me, and he's like, look out the window right now. And I look out the window, and Jake is just, he's like repeatedly slamming his head up against the garage door. like he's in a 3-point stance, and he's just continues to hit it over and over again. Then he's like running full speed into it, just like plowing into it. And you can just, every couple of seconds you can hear just this, loud slam. The father's like, he's like, at this point, it's really not about what Jake wants or needs. It's more about like, what can you do for the family? I'm like, well, I mean, there's rules to this, like I can't buy you things. And he's like, I don't want anything. I was like, I could give you cash. And he's like, well, that's illegal. I'm like, well, I mean, what were you thinking? And he's like, what's the blowjob scene like out at that school? I'm like, oh, it's great. You know, he'll be a college football star. Like, he can get all the blowjobs he wants. And I finally sit next to him. I look at his computer. He's just watching a porno. I'm like, blowjobs are one thing, but the school is, it's known for other things. I grab my phone. I look, and there's a text message from my boss, and he's like, it just says, seal the deal. I don't give a fuck how you do it. I'm home with this fucking kid. I'm just like, shit. So he's like, what were you saying? And I was like, the school's known. And I look down, I can see a little bit of my wife's underwear hanging out of my jeans. And I was like, it's, blowjobs are great, but the school's known for panty jobs. And he's like, what the hell's that? I'm like, it's where just kind of someone gets on top of you like a hot pair of panties and you just kind of jack off on them. And he's like, I've never even looked that up. He's like, I watch porno all the time. I've never even heard of that. I hear Jake slam into the house again, really loud. And it's like, I could give you one or find someone to give you one. And he's like, no, you give me one. Like, okay. So I pull off my jeans. Like, you want me to? I was like, what do you want to? I mean, you guide it. How do you want to do this? He's like, no, just do however you want to do it. He's like, you're the panty job guy, right? I said, no, sir, I'm a college football recruiter. I'm here for your son. He's like, well, I'm here to. He's like, no, you're here to sell me on your school. I said, well, sir, I told you everything about the program. He just kind of grabs me by the cheek. He's like, just stop talking. He just lays me down on the ground and gets his dick out, and it's not fully hard, so he's just kind of squeezing. He's just kind of pushing it up against the underwear. He's just kind of hitting my balls. Eventually, it gets hard and kind of just peels them open, and he spits on his dick. And I look down, and I see my phone there's like another text. I don't even read it. I just know that it's like, I gotta make this happen. So I also just kind of blow some spit at his dick and jacks off in my underwear. And right as he comes, Jake sort of barrels through the door like on all fours. And that's it.
Huh.
Pretty nasty.
Yeah. This dad character is really all business. It's got a really particular tone to him.
It was sun busting in like the Kool-Aid man on all fours. Oh man, quick on your feet. I love that. It was so hot.
Do you think that the text? See, I thought the last text message would be something like the guy calling it off.
He's just like, yeah, we found someone else.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
He's like, Jake's a bust. He's retarded. We don't need him.
Oh man, that was so funny and sexy. By funny, I mean it was very sexy.
Yeah, extremely. The build up before something sexual even happens is so slow. It's a slow burn.
Yeah, and you did all that
like a porno Blue Chips.
Yeah.
Yeah. The movie Blue Chips.
Yeah.
You did all that on like just like a heroic amount of food in your stomach too. Steak.
You're going plate for plate.
Yeah, 3 burritos, a bloomin' onion, steak, tortellinis,
apple pie,
apple pie.
Chipotle
fries.
burritos.
and
Yeah.
the gravy protein.
Yeah. Like you must have been sweating like a motherfucker.
Yeah, totally full.
Yeah.
Do you think the wife knows that the son?
She don't
How
care
the-
about
how-
she's such a robot at this point. She's just like
Okay.
just wakes up and starts cleaning, even though the house is immaculate, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What kind of porno do you think the dad was watching when you looked at his laptop?
I think the fact that he's never come across a panty job
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
means he's probably pretty mild, like just
It's like the first thing he sees.
straight
on the site.
missionary. Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine you look over and it's like two blonde women with fake breasts making out. Real
Yeah.
like basic.
Yeah, not like something you could see on in Euphoria or something.
Yeah. Oh man. That would be fun.
So
That was just sorry.
You got more questions, Spike?
You get a big ass meal. Like the pressure sucks. Nobody wants to be under
Pressure
that kind
sucks,
of pressure.
but you got a full belly and you don't
You got a full belly.
what's it
You-
matter?
Yeah, you're landing the kid. After that, you're definitely landing the kid.
Yeah.
how far are you willing to go?
Yeah, you get a like to feel like sexy in those underwear.
That's very true.
You know,
It's another situation where you want it to happen. If we're talking fantasies, it's like something's got to happen sooner
Yeah.
or later.
he wouldn't have offered it. You know, if he didn't kind of want to do it. Because what? Listen, why is John wearing those underwear if he can't, put it to good use?
Yeah. Why bring it up? Why would he?
He wants to
include that
show
in
it
his
off.
fantasy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like as soon as they go on,
And even the shitting
It's all
the
open.
pants.
Yeah.
Even shitting your own pants. It's like a diaper fantasy thing. Or a dirty boy.
Yeah. And then he puts on those undies. He's feeling fishy as hell. So of course he wants to seduce the married man, Like if it like he
He
could
guy's a
have
freak.
yeah, there's a lot of blowjob talk being thrown around. He could have just sucked the guy off. But no, he had to
yeah.
You know,
That would be gay.
If I didn't,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. If I didn't know you and I just put this podcast on and I didn't know you, I would think like, wow, John's like a total freak.
I would think this guy's gay.
Something like that.
Yeah. Every
Yeah.
fantasy has. I don't think I've had one with a woman really. Well, like you haven't heard it yet, but last
No.
week's I go down on multiple women, but I don't want to. All I
Okay.
want to do is,
Eat ice cream.
clean up the ice cream. Yeah, there's definitely something going on with me.
Something's up with you, man. But also it's just you make these fantasies for other people too.
Mike,
I
you're doing it again.
What's that?
You're taking John's fantasy about power, control, success,
Yeah.
and saying that he's gay, making him feel question his own sexual preferences.
He said these things.
I think you're colonizing his fantasy.
No, that's bullshit. He says these things. And I'm just saying it again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that. I didn't make John say that. I didn't write those words down in his diary or whatever and read it here on this day, September 3rd, 2024,
Sure.
Tuesday.
Sure.
So I don't know. That's you guys. That's your problem. I mean, am I
Yeah.
wrong? John, am I wrong? What do you think, John?
You're not wrong.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Okay. Then I know you guys don't like me. You don't like the shit I have to say. You don't like my ideas. You never have. And I got a lot going on in my life. I told you guys over and over again, I suffer from depression and anxiety. I've been having flare-ups. I texted you that before this, and you've ignored all the cues, all the signals I have to do, and I just getting teamed up on all the time. is getting a bit tiresome, you know? How much am I supposed to take? I get it from my family. I get it from my wife. I get it from my kid every day. Every day. Okay? So I don't know. Fall's coming soon. I'm excited.